By the end of this video, I'm going to teach you 3 things for free. The first thing I'm going to teach you is a shift which allowed me to pay off a loan 7 months ahead of time. It allowed me to be able to save up 6 months worth of living expenses, and it allowed me to be able to pay for my master's degree without getting a scholarship or borrowing money from anybody. All whilst I was making 5,000 less at this new job than I was at my previous job when I had the loan. The next shift that I'm going to tell you about is some of the mistakes that you may be making in your current budget and what you can do instead. The third thing that I'm going to give you for free is that I'm going to run you through a quick Excel template which I created for budgeting purposes, and I'm going to make this available to you for free as well, just by subscribing to my mailing list. I'll provide the link to my mailing list in the next video. So when you do get the Excel spreadsheet, you can choose to either edit it to create your own or use it as it is, or you can choose to write it down on a piece of paper and choose to rethink the whole thing. Just use it as a map, not necessarily as the gospel truth, which you're going to implement in your own finances. So the first shift that allowed me to be able to do more with my money whilst actively making 5,000 less at this new job is that I became a big picture thinker. I don't think about things on the month to month. I plan for an entire year. I think this is why my MSc is in project management. Whenever I start anything, I think about it all the way up to completion and think about all the resources that I'm going to need to complete this particular exercise. And when it comes to planning my personal finances, I think about it as a project as well, all the way from start to finish up to conclusion. What does this look like? Let's say I need to pay for something worth 16,000 in August. What I'm going to do in January is that I'll be putting 2,000 away towards this particular thing so that I don't act like this expense caught me by surprise. The next thing that I'm going to give you for free, so far I've given you one thing. The second thing that I'm going to give you for free is that I'm going to tell you some of the common mistakes which people make when budgeting. The first thing is that your budget is only in your head. Take it out of your head and write it down on a piece of paper. The second thing I'm going to teach you is that people write a dishonest budget. You know that you drink. Put drinking on the budget. You are going to spend money on beer, whether you write it down or not. So you have all these leisure activities, but you feel ashamed to put them on your budget because you feel like you're going to be a new person this month. It's okay to plan for leisure. Put it on the budget. The third mistake that people make is that they don't track. Yes, you have budgeted to say this is how you spend the money, but you haven't tracked to see how you actually spent it. So you budgeted to say I'm going to spend it like this, but you haven't tracked to see where the money actually went. I've covered 2 things. I've talked about the shift, and I've also told you what is wrong with your current budget. Now I'm going to run you through the budgeting template, which I use in Excel. This is a simple budgeting template and tool that I created, which I'll make available for those who subscribe to my mailing list. So when you look at this budgeting template, starting from cell B2, which I've highlighted in green, this row going downwards on this side to the right has months from January all the way up to December. Then when you come down in the columns from cell B3 all the way up to cell B19, what you have are the entries. At the top, you have the total inflows. This is all the money that you receive, whether it be a salary, a side hustle, or consultancy. You can edit it to include your own incomes, include every source of income. Then at the bottom from cell B19, coming downwards up to cell B18, what you have are your total outflows. Then what this budgeting template allows you to do is that it allows you to plan not just for 1 month, but it allows you to plan for several months in advance. I've automated it such that here in cell C8 is the total inflows, and in cell C19 are the total outflows. At the bottom is the balance. The balance appears in cell C21. So automatically, I put a formula in the spreadsheet so that in cell D3 here, the money which remained in January will automatically appear in February. What this does is that it takes you from planning month to month, and you're able to plan to say, based on what I spent in January, this is how much I'll be able to afford in February. It can also help you in columns such as investments. Maybe you're intending to buy a plot. Here, investments in cell C16 and cell C17. Maybe you're intending to buy a plot. What it can do is that at the end here, you can include a column in this cell and in that cell where you're adding the sum of this row for investment and a plot to see, okay, based on my behavior in January, February, and so on and so forth, I'll be able to have so much saved up towards a plot.